Today, the New York Times editorial board said they're not endorsing anyone in this race. They noted that you and Governor Andrew Cuomo seem to be the front runners. And they described your campaign as joyful. They said that you have a fresh style, but they also said, and these are their words, that you're running on an agenda uniquely unsuited to the city's challenges. That they called you a democratic socialist who too often ignores the unavoidable trade-offs of governance. And they say that you basically want the government to operate grocery stores as if customer service and retail sales were strengths of the public sector. He minimizes the importance of policing. For someone who's not familiar with your platform, you have said you want free buses, city-run grocery stores, frozen rent. How do you plan to pay for those proposals?
So there are a number of ways. The first is that freezing the rent does not actually require the city to spend any additional money. The city has a board called the Rent Guidelines Board, which determines whether or not rents for rent-stabilized tenants increase. And the previous mayoral administration froze those rents 3 times. What we are proposing is to build on that precedent. And to make buses free, it costs about $700 million. To deliver universal child care, we're looking at a cost of about $5 to $6 billion. We've put forward an economic plan that would raise actually $10 billion to not only pay for our agenda, but start to Trump-proof our city. And we do so in 2 key ways. We match New York State's top corporate tax rate to that of New Jersey at 11.5%. That raises $5 billion. And we increase personal income taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers. These are New Yorkers who make $1 million a year or more, and we increase it by just 2%, $20,000, which is effectively a rounding error when you're making that much money. And those things together with good government reforms raise $10 billion a year. And ultimately what that does is not just provide for the economic agenda we've been running on to center working people at the heart of our politics, but also deliver a city with excellent public services. And when I speak to wealthy New Yorkers, I hear so often that concern around quality of life. And while I respect the dozen or so writers who make up the New York Times editorial board, I also know that their own panel of experts recommended our campaign as the leading campaign when addressing housing and quality of life.